Okay, so the issue we are having here is that this unit, it's only about 5 years old, 6 years old almost. It's out of warranty, just came out of warranty. And what's happening is this motor, I believe it's called the ECM motor, right in there, is doesn't actually have a capacitor. It has a built-in module right there, and what happens is these go bad for whatever reason. And what we had happening was the motor would start to want to turn over, but it actually would not kick in all the way. And then you had to turn off the unit for at least 3-4 hours, let it cool down, turn it back on, and it would usually kick on. So what I did was I just bought a new ECM motor from Amazon. You have to remove this unit physically, look at the number that's on the back of your motor there, the model number, and order that exact item from Amazon. And the other thing is that right there, that part, which is actually right here, the transformer part. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but it's getting extremely hot and making a buzzing noise. So just as a backup, I'm going to be replacing this unit as well. It's just basically one bolt right there and a couple connections. First thing you're going to want to do is obviously remove your breaker here, so there's no electricity running through this entire unit. Once this is all complete, I'm also going to clean the coil. We have the coil cleaner right here that you can also buy off of Amazon. So we're going to do that. There's the coil right there. Clean that. We're also going to clean the outside unit as well. The same thing with the same cleaner, and then I think we'll be good to go. Last year we had an issue with the AC not blowing cold air, and the issue was completely different. It was actually a capacitor on the outside. I believe it's a condenser unit. So that was like literally a $15 fix. It was just a capacitor. I'll show you later. It sits on the side of the outside unit. Few electrical wires, replaced the capacitor, and everything was blowing cold air again. But now this year we're having a different issue where the actual motor itself is slowly on its way out. So it was still working, but I went ahead and I bought a new motor. We're also going to replace the filter today as well after all of this is done. And yeah, so the whole point of this video is to save you guys some money. For somebody to come out this easily would be $500, $600, $700. So all this is for, if you're not comfortable with doing this, definitely I would say don't do it. Just let a professional handle it. But with something like this, I've done more difficult things working on cars, replacing rod bearings or Vanos units, transmissions. So this for me is pretty much a piece of cake, but if you're not comfortable with doing this, you can actually do more damage than good. So proceed at your own discretion. But yeah, I just want to kind of show you what the issue is with this. Okay, so the unit, the fan unit is actually out. You got to remove this ground wire from right there, and then you got one bolt there, one bolt there. There's two slides on each side. This whole unit just slides out. Here's the actual unit we're replacing. As you can see, there's connections on the bottom here, which you're going to want to take a picture of this before disconnecting to make sure everything goes back in the right place. We're replacing this guy. Here's the new unit that arrived from Amazon. You have all new wires, which we're not going to be utilizing because they should be the same connectors as on those. And here's the actual new unit. It's slightly different, as you can see. Also, it's identical in every way, and the model number is identical to it as well. Here it says do not bench test. The first use must be in the actual HVAC system. I think that's because that when you turn this unit on for the first time, It has to, it programs itself, the actual ECM motor inside. From what I understand, and this may be incorrect, but from what I understand, there has to be some programming happening between the module and the motor. So that's, I'm guessing, why they want you to, the first use of this would have to be in the actual unit. So this is how it looks right there. This shaft actually spins the fan. You'll see how that connects in a minute. Okay, so once you have the unit actually out of that closet, you're going to release. There's 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. There's going to be an 11 millimeter. So just release those all the way, and then there's going to be, this unit will actually come out from the other side. There's a little nut you got to release, and then this right here is actually what tightens this motor in place. You're going to want to pay attention to the markings, like the sticker, to basically tell you where the new motor should sit, because it has to be identical to where this one is in terms of the depth that it's in. So make a note of everything and then proceed further. Alright guys, so no matter what I try to get this out of the actual fan assembly, this shaft was so rusted out that it wouldn't, it just got stuck in there pretty much. I mean, I used a lot of liquid wrench on there, and still nothing. I used the hammer a couple times, trying to get it to go down with a special attachment that sat right in the middle. Nothing. So eventually what I did was I just had to resort to a drill, and what I did was it just went right in there like that, and then I drilled it out about, as you can see, maybe about ½ inch, and then after that put a screwdriver inside like that, hit it with a hammer a couple times, and it finally came out. There's a cinder block here and a cinder block here, and I put a little towel so it wouldn't get scratched up. But yeah, unfortunately, the only way to prevent this is to sand it down with some sandpaper, because I didn't have that puller tool that you need for this, unfortunately. So next thing you guys are going to want to do is pressure wash this unit here, get all the dirt off of it and everything. Okay, so while that is drying, we're going to clean this coil here. As you can tell, it is very dirty. Not sure if it's ever been cleaned, but on the bottom here, you can really see right there, all that. So essentially what this is doing is making your AC unit work harder than it should be. See how you can barely see through it right there? It should be perfectly clean. So what we're going to want to do is clean it from up down. So all this crap has to come down on the floor, down on the floor here. So that's what we're going to do next. So all you do, you spray this on there, just like that, and it will actually start foaming up. You're going to see it start to foam up. Next step is what I'm going to do is, there's a lot of high pressure in this, in brake cleaner, So now that that is done foaming out, what I'm going to do is rinse from the inside, from here out, with this brake cleaner to get rid of as much debris in between all those. But you never want to touch those with a brush or anything, because if you bend these, it's not good at all. So don't touch it with anything. So like that. Basically rinsing it right now of all the cleaner, but with brake cleaner. So all that is getting rinsed down. Okay, so we are all set with the cleanup process. You can use some paper towels to wipe up the residue on the bottom. As you can see, the coil now is relatively clean compared to what it was. And also, if I shut off the flashlight, you can clearly see through the entire unit, through the entire coil itself. So we should be a little bit more efficient now. So what you're going to want to do is let the cleaner penetrate the entire coil. See how it's getting wet right there? And then once that happens, you can actually start flushing it. So I'll show you. And like for instance right here, you'll see it coming out. See all that, how dirty that water is? I don't know if you can tell on the camera or not, but it's like brown. Okay, so we got the old motor out. This has been washed. Outside unit has been washed. Coil's been cleaned inside and outside. Put the new motor in. Very important you line up the plug where this tag is, because your electrical connectors will be coming down this way and in like that. Next, you're going to want to put the bracket on right there. So you got, this is going to be your tightening screw for the bracket. You're going to want to line these up somewhat roughly according to where these are going. There's going to be a little notch in the middle there that'll actually stop. And then from there, all you do is you tighten these up here. So tighten those. Make sure they are all snug and won't come loose. After that has happened, you're going to have to line up the fan itself. And the way you do that is, basically all these have to be perfectly tightened down so that the fan isn't tilted one way or another. And after that's done, then you take that screw, which is the set screw, and you're going to want to line up the notch. I'll show you. There's a notch in the actual assembly here. So like you see this notch right here, you want the screw to go right there. So see where it was right here? So you want the screw to be like right there so it holds it in place. So you're going to want to turn this on the other side according to where the set screw is actually located. Alright guys, so we're almost ready to put the motor back, or the blower assembly back into the furnace here, and just want to show you. So you got these two wires right here. White one goes into 4, blue one goes into number 2, and then that big connector just clips in there. Put one finger there, one finger on the other side, and clip it in there. Make sure it's actually clipped in there. The fan, you're going to have to line up from the other side. You can actually make sure it doesn't touch one side or the other. It has to be perfectly in between, and then spin it by hand and make sure that it doesn't touch the actual housing unit itself. That's pretty much how you line it up. And then make sure all these again are perfectly torqued down, like the same torque on each one, so that this isn't sitting like crooked in there. It has to be perfectly lined up. And now basically that's it. We put this unit inside inside there. You connect the ground wire right here. Now we're going to go outside, turn on the main breakers for the whole thing, and then we're going to put this backup, I guess, breaker back in here, and hopefully everything should work according to plan. This was, I believe it was like $190 off of Amazon, so it wasn't too bad. We're also going to put a new air filter in there. We also cleaned the condenser coil outside and the indoor coil as well. So we should be hopefully at like 85–90% efficiency to what it was when it was new. Alright guys, so we just turned the unit on, or I turned the unit on, and it works. Two things. It works quieter, the motor itself, you can barely hear it, than before. And the other thing is it kicks on like instantly. And this, the air coming out of here, I mean, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's like double what it was before. Like the pressure of the air. It's the same motor, same everything, but it was slightly higher. I think it was RPM. It was like slightly higher, it said on the sticker. So yeah. By the way, these guys here, they declined to help me in any way. They wanted for me to pay for a service call to come out here and all this whole deal. I said, hey, you guys installed the unit like, 5 years ago, and the warranty just ended. And they're like, nope, we're not gonna even come out there just to take a look at it to see what's going on. So yeah, kind of unprofessional with that, but I'm glad that through YouTube and a couple DIY videos was able to get this fixed, and it is ice cold now, which is nice. So that is all, guys. Thanks for watching. Good luck.